Step one tell me that I'm powerless.
Yes.
That I have no control. And if I look at my experiences, I can see where I am powerless over this thing that has been dominating my actions. Even when I didn't want to go, I had to, and didn't know why. It showed me where I'm unmanageable and what took place in my life. But step two says that that I made a conscious decision. Now, I hadn't been conscious in a long time. I hadn't been conscious in a long time to be capable of making any rational decisions. I just told you about my double mind. But I came to a place after surrender, and God stepped in and said, hey, to where I can make a decision, look, to say, you take my life, you take my will. My will has been to do negative things despite the consequences. My will has been to slowly commit suicide, take my life, as a result of being shot twice, being in a car accident, in and out of prison. That's what my will was for my life. In the alley, 3 o'clock in the morning, not wanting to come out. So that was my will for my life. So it should be easy for me to give God will over my life. Let's just say I had a trapdoor on my forehead, and you open it up. You will see a big old sternum wheel inside my head. You will see a big old leather seat like that one on that bus that take us up north. Every time I start thinking, somebody talked about thinking earlier. Every time I start thinking, it gives room for me to take the wheel of my life and guide me right back to where I was again. It gives me will. I'm running on self-will. I'm running on my will. I'm going to take myself back where I was. I'm going to start thinking again instead of knowing what I need to do. But when I get up in the morning and that seat is empty and I pray and God jump in that seat and he take my will in my life and guide me in this recovery process and show me how to live one day at a time. So when I say take my will in my life, I mean it. God, take my will in my life. Guide me in my recovery. Show me how to live one day at a time. Step 3 tell me, yes. Step 2 was restoration.
Yes,
Bam. You made the decision to the third step. Right? Bam. Step 2 was restoration. We're going to back up. Restore me to sanity first. Restoration, you can't restore nothing unless it was in original form in the first place. If I restore a car, I'm taking it back to its original form. If God restored me, He's taking me back to my original form. He's taking me back to where everything went wrong. Sanity. Don't mean that I was insane in the sense of needing medication. I was just insane in my actions. If I look at my actions of going to the store saying, give me a big old bottle of stuff that make me fight people that I know I can't win to fight. If I keep knocking on this man's door 3 o'clock in the morning saying, give me some more of that stuff, man. And matter of fact, the one you gave me last time wasn't that good. It didn't have me on my knees. It didn't have me looking out the window. It didn't have me tripping all night long. You know. And matter of fact, give me double. I just asked for double or something I say ain't no good. Give me some of that stuff that Joe shot his arm down the street and he almost died, man. They had to take him to the hospital. I know that's good. I ain't gonna use as much as he did. Give me some of that stuff. Let me smoke some stuff that's gonna make me take my TV apart, can't put it back together. But I say I'm not insane. And look, on top of that, I go to the man and I say, please let me pay you for it. Let me give you my money for it. I'll run to the store for you. I'll do it. I'll do some sexual favors. I'll do whatever I need to do to get some. Give me some, please. And knowing it might take my life. Just give me some. Please, I'm a bam on your door all night. Give me credit, I'll pay you double when I get my check. Whatever I need to do, give me some of that stuff that hurt me. But I say I'm not insane. I don't need to be able to restore it to sanity. We did 3. Let's go to 4. Searching and fearless. I go looking, and I be not scared of what I might see. If I understand that what I might see might free me. If I understand that what I might see might get me past these feelings of inadequacy, these feelings of low self-esteem, low self-worth, these feelings of not being able to achieve, these feelings of not liking somebody based on the people that I feel don't like me or I have not liked. I even get to go in and see that I do have some assets. I'm not always a liability. That somewhere is a compassionate, good person. And these things free me because they allow me to uncover, discover the causes and conditions to some of my questions, and to discard. And all I'm doing is trying to, all this time, is obtain the God I've been looking for out there. In here the whole time covered up with all these issues and all these problems where he don't want to dwell or live at. If I've ever been molested, if I've ever been physically verbally abused, if I've ever been mistreated, if I've ever been teased, I need to address those issues that I think don't affect me, that has been affecting me and others in my life. And see, because drugs was just a solution to my problem that I've been running from for a whole lot of time. They allowed me to escape momentarily. So when they're removed and these things get to moving around and I go in here and look at these things, I need to get free of these things that took me there in the first place. What made me go to drugs in the first place? I wasn't on drugs to get hooked on drugs. Every time I went to get loaded, I didn't already be loaded.
Go ahead.
After being in prison 3 years, I didn't have no dope in my system. Why did I go get loaded if drugs is my problem? So I take these issues that I have put on this paper and I take them to somebody and I share them with them. And the purpose of sharing them with somebody and God, they say we share them with God, ourselves, and another human being, the exact nature. And I do this for the purpose of building trust, because I had none. I do it for the purpose of just letting God know that I know that He knows. And I really do it for I can see, and for you to see me. Because when I start tripping again, or when I start acting out again, that means that I need to address this again. That I really didn't address it all the way this time. I don't need to revert back to nothing I've walked away from. I need somebody else to watch me. Because if I'm standing in a picture right now, y'all can see the picture I can't.
There you go.
If I'm finna take a picture and you say, Darrel, your collar is up, I'll be like, you know. Take it. You'd be like, something on your ear. You'd be like the other ear. I'm gonna check it, you know. I'm trusting your judgment because you can see me, I can't.
Yeah.
But when somebody says your behavior, or you tripping, or you know what you doing might have you back in there, I don't want to see it. What you talking about? You know what you talking about. I'm all right. Y'all just need to leave me alone.
Go ahead.
I'm glad they didn't leave me alone. And I do that 5th step so I can give my life to somebody who won't leave me alone.
That's right.
And won't allow me to just rely on me no more. Or run in my will no more.
Amen.
So I go on to step 6, which reminds me of, what's that dude that chases Rover? Wile E. Coyote. Wile E. Coyote, you know, he blew himself up, sent himself through all kind of demoralizing action, trying to catch something that he couldn't catch. That sounds like me. I tried to catch something for a long time, couldn't catch it, drug myself all through the alleys and all that on Skid Row, crying, talking about why I gotta be, you know, and I couldn't catch it. And there was some things, which takes me to the next step, it was some things expected of me. It was some things, you know, I didn't know for a long time, Joe, that I had stole from my mother way before I broke in her house and stole the VCR. I didn't know that I stole her son. I didn't know I stole her dreams and aspirations for her child. I didn't know that I took these things from her long before I started taking her material items that could be replaced. Mother expected something of me, and guess what? I came up short. Society expects something of me as a productive citizen, and I was coming up short. Running through them alleys, chasing that thing that I couldn't catch. I was practicing a behavior inconducive to my life, which means I was practicing some shortcomings regularly. I had adapted some behaviors as a result of trying to be like Mike, who was trying to be like Ike, and they knew who they was trying to be like, so I just became something other than the somebody I was supposed to be. So that's what I'm trying to recover. The little boy that wouldn't touch the hot stove no more, how did he become a grown man that would touch something hot that would ruin his life, and guess what? Touch it again. Then already looking and try to touch it one more time, and touch it again, and touch it again, and then destroy his life and the life of others, and guess what? Still won't touch it one more time. Something wrong. Step 8 is where I've reached a point in my life now to where I'm ready to look at something. I'm ready to get honest. I'm ready to say, okay, I'm willing to address these people who I've harmed. I'm at least willing to list them all. And not the people who harm me, the ones I harm. Not because of they, I don't justify nothing. I write down who I cause harm to. Going to the next step, step 9, I get to either address these people directly or address this issue indirectly. I held the thing for my father for a whole lot of years because he gave me my first hit 18 years old. I felt like he didn't give me the privilege to cross my rites of passage, the threshold into manhood. And I blamed him for a long time, and I needed to make amends to him in this step, and I had to do it indirectly because he died hitting a pipe on his couch in 1997. By the time I got to this step, he was no longer here for me to make amends to. So there's a such thing called indirect amends. I have a son. Stop the cycle. Don't pass it down to your son.
That's right.
Don't do what father done to you, because when I look back over my history, I found out that father's father done it to him, his father's father done it to him. He only did what he knew how to do, based on what he was working with and based on who he was working with. I kept on threatening him. You better give me a hit, man. You talking about, I'm going to go break this up. I'm going to go to jail. I'm going to steal your tools when you go to work. So I had to look at my part too. I had to look at my part in the whole thing too. He wasn't just, and he did the best he can. And back in '82, he wasn't, nobody behind no trash can with no pipe this big burning their lips up. He didn't see it coming.
Right.
He didn't know his son was going to be on Skid Row, Mama, I'm sorry, Mama. How can I right the wrongs I caused you? She said, well, you've been out for, I got 7.5 years clean now. I think I had 3 years dead. She said, you've been to 3 family reunions, 3 Christmases. You ain't stole from nothing from your 3 years. Keep going to that place you've been going to. She said, just keep on going. See, but I had to work all those other stuff before I got to this stuff, just in case Mama would have said some absurd words and told me to get out of her house and she don't never want to see my face again. I had to be okay with that. See, cause I learned that this step right here is not done for the person. It's done for me. This step is to free me of any guilt and shame or remorse I may be carrying around. This step is to free me, and all of them is to free me. It ain't about Mama. Mama can deal with it better than I can. She done moved on. I'm still tripping. So I need to get the trip out of me and clean my side of the street before I can keep going.